Okay. So I'm going to tell you that your hair's, gosh, it's healthy. It's lovely. And this is dry. Wait until I put the oil in. You're knotting great.
Is it? Because I didn't think I was doing it.
You wouldn't do it perfect. There's going to be, mistakes and all of that. That's fine. Yeah. But thankfully you're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think you're doing, it's great. It looks like you separate your hair very well.
Yeah, I try to separate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I find that anyway, it's probably because there's a lot of growth. But it's almost as if some of the hair is just growing out of the lock. But I think it's because it's so much hair.
Yes.
And maybe it's telling me that I need to maybe not leave it as long as I'm leaving it. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so when I'm in your hair, I'll be I'll give you feedback. But just so you understand that, like my vision for our hair is to live with our afro and our locks in a way. So Sisterlocks the principle is just do your hair neat.
Yeah.
Put it away. Yeah. But that's not my thing.
I used to hate that though.
That's not my thing. Yeah. I think my thing really is I want to have a relationship with my body, especially because we're aging, and we're accepting of ourselves.
Yeah.
So part of that experience, I want to have a relationship with my hair, and I don't want it all interlocked away or all knotted away. That's the vision. So one of the things is that people always ask me, what do I do with the hair that's growing out of the lock? Well, it's actually part of the look. It's a natural look where sometimes some strands don't want to be in.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They don't. Yeah. And because they don't, I have to leave them. Sometimes I try and put them in the knot and they're fine, but sometimes they just don't want to be in the lock. Yeah. So you've got to leave them. So what's good about this session is I'm going to give you my professional, based on like my 14 years experience working with the clients, all different types of hair, interlocking, as well as those who have taught, and also the practice of knotting, because I've been knotting now for 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I give you that reassures you, so that when you go home and you start knotting, you're going to be so fine, because I've given you, because you're paranoid that you're like, am I doing it right? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I said to you, you're in UK, come, let me do, and then you will be like, well, just looking at your hair now, I don't see a problem.
Okay.
I just see normal human interaction with hair, which is what we're trying to get to. Yeah. So okay, let me do the top. So this is your little area that has the challenge. So this is how you wear your hair normally.
Yeah, because I don't know what else to do with it because of the issues that I have.
Yeah.
But I think wearing it this way is probably not so good. I mean, if I'm going to wear it down, I'm thinking I'll cut it. That's the thing, because it's
leave it like that. Leave it in the braid. Yeah. Okay. So when I'm in it, I'm going to give you feedback, isn't it? I'm going to interact with your hair. I'm going to move your hair around. When I move your hair around, I'll give you ideas. As I'm looking at you, that's why the mirror is important. As I'm looking at you, I'm going to tell you, I'll give you ideas to reassure you. One thing I can tell you, it's not good for our hair to be in one direction all the time. Yeah. That much I know, because hair has weight. I can already feel the weight of your hair. Yes. Right? And so you should be moving it. How many years is your hair?
Oh gosh, what did I do? 2018?
Okay.
So it's about
8 years, about that. And when did you start noticing the hair loss?
Oh God. I don't know. It's almost as if, when did I start noticing the hair loss? I don't know. It's kind of like it kind of creeps up on you and you don't really notice it. And then I think also because I was getting other people to do it. So, what would I say? Maybe 3-4 years in.
Okay.
Yeah.
You started with full head of hair.
I started.
How did you start? How much
I have traction, and I think that's obviously because of the relaxing.
Yeah, of course.
So let's say around about 4 years. But I mean, for some reason, but I was told I have some fibrosing alopecia. It's like an autoimmune. I had it before. Yeah, I would have had it before.
Okay.
But it wasn't to the extent that it is now. I would have just had, but I think it was more the traction, and because I went to see a dermatologist and that he did they do the biopsy.
Yeah.
So that's what he told me that it was.
So then you locked.
And so that was part of the reason why.
Okay,
And because I was going away, I didn't want to be in my hair all the time. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then, so what was the reason why you locked?
I locked because I was going to Grenada and I wanted something. I wanted to keep my hair natural. For one. I didn't want because even prior to doing it, my hair was natural. I decided I didn't want to do any more relaxer, and so for a long time I was doing twists and so on and so forth. But it means that you're constantly in your hair.
Yeah.
And because I was moving to Grenada, I decided let me do something. Okay. So it was for that reason I decided so that I wouldn't be in my hair so much.
Okay.
Just to leave it alone.
Okay. How often were you getting it done?
Oh, like they told you, every 8. I think it was like 8 weeks.
Okay.
I mean, when I'm in Grenada, I would try to leave it for at least 12 before I did it because doing it every 2 months was too much. Yeah.
Okay.
So I tried to leave it. But the thing is, one thing I've noticed with the interlocking, it's not necessarily that I suppose it is tight when they do it. I mean, or at least your hair feels like it's tight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would wait 12 weeks or 8 weeks. But what you're saying is the session was tight.
It felt a bit, it wasn't tight like sometimes when you have your hair braided.
Right.
But because of what they were doing, when I did it on my hair, it felt kind of tight. It's not tight, you need to take aspirin or whatever. Okay. But it just feels like somebody's locked it to the point where probably my head just doesn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? It's interesting what you said. Somebody else in your body, would take painkillers. So everybody's pain threshold is different.
Yeah.
So I've had clients who cried in the chair. They've cried from the pain.
God. Yeah.
You might be somebody who has a high.
Yeah, I do have a high pain threshold.
Yeah. So these excuses we give, these like, oh, it wasn't tight. It was, it wasn't tight enough for me to take painkiller. Yeah. That is relative to the individual. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It might have been. All I'm going to say is, in my experience, I've had clients where when I've been working on their hair, I've seen blood. Like, let's say I'm interlocking their hair. When I used to do practice Sisterlocks, so I would see blood and I would say to them, can you feel that? Because look, I'll show them, look, there's blood there. That means obviously when I'm interlocking, I've pulled, isn't it? It's the Sisterlocks teaching of pull and speed, and they would not feel it. Now somebody else would have felt that, but that person's pain threshold is so high that they didn't even feel when the follicle pocket was being pulled out until they came out. So it's relative. The point is that whether you decide to manage the pain through the fact that, oh, well, it's not that painful for me to take painkillers, doesn't really matter. Your head can't take it. Yeah. It's not about the fact that your mind, remember we just talked about brainwashing and how you're told about certain things and you begin to believe it that it's real and it's not. It's the same. So you basically take on a lot, but the body always tells you first, not your mind. Your mind can trick you and tell you, oh, it's fine, it's normal, blah, blah. But the body is saying, this is killing and we cannot do this. No, but we're going to do it. That's what we do, especially as black females. We're going to do this. Yeah. Your head is super, super sensitive and just could not take it. Yeah. And so how has the trauma in your scalp showed up for you? How did it show up?
With bald patches.
Okay.
Yeah, or wide. The parts getting wider and wider. Yeah.
Okay. And now the parts don't matter because you understand the principle behind Sisterlocks. It's the grid, isn't it? Yeah. It's really interesting how they put the grid in. You're lucky. You're 2018. I locked 2007, I think, or something like 2007 or 2008. 10 years before you, and we weren't told about grade. Yeah, we didn't know about a grade. We were just given a grade, and then the grid was maintained. And the grid is maintained simply because it's just a grade guideline. Take that lock it. Take that lock it. Take that. The problem is some heads are allergic to it, and your hair can really be fooled by your hair. You know how you can see hair and it looks thin but it's strong, and sometimes you can see hair that's thick. But it's actually weak. Yeah. Your hair is very misleading. I swear, when I touch your hair, it's like strong. I can take anything. That's how your hair feels like. If I didn't know your story here, I would believe you have a strong hair, it can take anything. but obviously it can't. And hence the reason
it was
why,
obviously too much.
It was always too.
But the thing also is that with the Locticians, what they do, because I remember I came back, what was it, last? Because I think that was the that session that I had with my Loctician, that was the last one. I thought to myself, after that one, never ever going back to it. I mean, she was a nice lady, don't get me wrong, but I thought never again, because she did the issues that I have with my hair. One, she didn't say anything. The only thing she said to me is, "Oh, you need to make sure that you band and such when you're washing," but also they penalise you if you let it go too long. So even when I came that year, I think it must have been about maybe two or so years ago, she had to charge me more because obviously how many weeks had I... Right. So you get penalised. But that lady that introduced this Sisterlocks, she doesn't do her hair every 6 to... Because you can see the hair, you can see the growth on her hair.
And her sisters have cut off their Sisterlocks.
Oh.
Because I was a massive fan of one of the sisters' hair. Obviously, because I didn't understand texture at the time, so I thought my hair would look like hers. She's now got her Sisterlocks off. So why have the 3 sisters who had Sisterlocks? Out of 3 of them, the one who's the face of it has her locks, and she's wearing it the way Melissa would wear her hair. Yeah, it was interesting. It's interesting. And why is it the 2 sisters? Have they ever covered that? Have they ever talked about the fact that the 2 sisters have cut their hair off and they're still representing Sisterlocks? There's a lot of issues. So for me, what I decided is if we want to start looking outside of ourselves, it's going to be very long. So let's look at our relationship with our hair, and that's what the Knotted Locs practice is. I'm trying to give you your relationship back. How that looks is personal and intimate to you, because you know your environment, you know your story, you know your hair, and you know what it needs. Hence the reason why the way you'd wet it, oil it, all of that varies dependent from head to head to head. So the mistake people are making is they're using the teachings and the practice of Sisterlocks to judge Knotted Locs. It's on the spectrum, we're very different people. We're very different practices. They're about a look, and I'm about a relationship with your hair. Because I realized that for me to have sustainable full hair, I needed to form a relationship and not be thinking of Dr. Cornwall, which is what I was doing. So because I was a massive fan of hers, I was a huge fan. I did the course, but I realized when I was struggling on a client's head, she wasn't in my house. When I was partying, when I was counting, and when I was looking at the work, she wasn't in my house. And I realized, why have you got this fixation on an individual who doesn't even know you? Doesn't know your story, doesn't know you. Because once you do the course, that's it. Nobody reaches out and says, this is how to market, this is how to get clients, this is how you doing. Nobody audits. So therefore, I started realizing, wait, I need to make decisions on my own for the hair. And then it's come to, obviously, let's fast forward, it's come to this moment where I began to understand, because first I started knotting and not understanding why I was guided to knot. But today, now in 2025, I understand it's about your relationship with your hair. It's not a Sisterlocks practice. It is I like to live with this much growth. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with that. It's personal to me. So whether that person likes it or not doesn't really matter. I like my hair, and it's sustainable in the way I'm knotting. And so that's what's confusing, because people are trying to look at one head, even you, and it's normal in your research, isn't it? Because this has never been done before. You're looking at somebody else's head and you're like, will my hair look like that? Well, actually, you like the hair texture. The hair texture is nice, but your hair is not that texture.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what not is different from person to person. So the reason why I share my footage in the way I share my footage is not for someone to go, it's for somebody to go, oh, African hair, because you know there's so many different types of African hair. But let them understand that when they're practicing Knotted Locs, it's going to look different from somebody else's. But at least you understand this is, what would I say, a hair locking method that works, because it's designed for African hair, because of the way the knot sits and the curls and all of that. It is an option for someone so that they have sustainable full hair, because that's what you're trying to do. When you relocated, you were just trying to have hair on your head, presentable, you know, enjoyable, presentable, but not punishment.
Yeah, that's the thing I found with the Sisterlocks. It's almost as if the hair isn't yours, and you're getting told off when you leave it. You feel like a child. They make you feel uncomfortable. And you know, you shouldn't this and you shouldn't that. It's very
disempowering. It's very disempowering.
Yeah, it just made me feel like I didn't own it. And when I remember before I went, trying to count, oh God, how many number of weeks, because that would determine the price, how many number of weeks I'd left it. So it was 9 weeks. So she'd charge me however much for... Yeah, you know, if it was a month or whatever, or however many weeks I'd left it.
And you know what you're missing out on is the resentment of the growth. So Sisterlocks resents growth.
Yeah.
They put away the growth quickly. So for her, it's
all
like...
about the lines, isn't it?
Yeah, you're making my work harder. So I'm going in there, I'm going to go fast and I'll rip because...
But it's not about me.
It's nothing...
It's not about me, it's about the Loctician.
Yeah, it's about the Locticians celebrating Sisterlocks. Knotted Locs is about celebrating your locks, personal to you. That is the fundamental difference. Therefore, if some of your strands want to dance out of the lock, let it do that because it's about the characteristics and the nature of your hair. If you want to showcase a hairstyle, then in Small Size Locs, Sisterlocks is absolutely spot on. If you want to form a healthy relationship with your African texture hair, in Small Size Locs, peace of mind, chill, ease, then Knotted Locs is for you. For Melissa, I did not see a service that represented what I wanted to gift my clients or what I wanted to gift my own hair, because my hair couldn't take that amount of interlocking. Now, with that comes mistakes. I'm all right with a mistake. That's the difference. Sisterlocks is like perfect, everything pristine. I'm all right with an error, a mistake, because long term, it's not about the detailing of it being exactly perfect. It's about the journey into just how we raise our kids. Sometimes we make a mistake, you think, oops, well, I got away with that, at least they turned out like this and like that. But what you don't do is kill your child to start again and get pregnant again. You don't do that and say, I'm going to have another one. You go and you make do with the life you've created. It's the same with the hair. I make a mistake, okay, fine, I'll leave it. And then you find the knot settle. And then you place a knot. You don't have to start being radical and cut it off and be all dramatic and create pain and stress. It's just, if you're on this path of ease, a life of ease, it's just an extended story, extended to your hair, where you can just do your hair as and when. So that's why I thought it was really important, even though I taught you, for you to come, because you're in UK, right? Come and visit. And so I can give you that added bonus of you have done the right thing. And I'm going to tell you, I've not even started wetting, oiling your hair. You've done the right thing. There's healthy growth. You've separated it really well. Right? And you are going to absolutely love, you're just going to love the session and the results. And then you're going to go home and you're going to be so chilled and fine with, you know, with what. I just think that these stories, everyone's individual stories are individual to themselves. And I feel like there isn't a space. I'm seeing people showcasing style. You know what I mean? This is my texture hair. But I'm not hearing real stories of people's up-to-date stories of their relationship with their hair and the Sisterlocks experience and the Microlocs experience and the grid and the retightening experience. That's what I do. I do the recordings. So that's because what people say to me when they see my videos, they're like, that's my story. Like, that person described it really, really well. That's exactly what's happening to me. Because you know what this is about? I'm representing black women and I'm 52, about to be 53. We go through a lot.
God, tell me
we carry a lot. And what I don't like is the fact that this hairstyle is adding to the weight of being a black female. Now, we're black female. We already have to check our bodies and make sure we're healthy and all that. So much is going on. And then our hair's going grey. We don't know how to manage it because we just don't have a representation that says it's cool and fine to be grey. It's difficult, it's challenging. And then we have thinning hair on top of that. Come on, we have all the menopausal, all of this, all of that. And now my hair is not looking right. It's not representing me. It's like, that's why I do it. So I just put it out there and I feel like it's not for everyone, but I am doing it for people like me, people like you who get it, that it's time for us to have our small size locks and just not and be free. So at the end of the session, I'm going to show you, this is the before. And the reason why I've not opened it up, because I want to see it firsthand, what it looks like, give you ideas, and then I'll do another part where I open up and I actually show your hair. Well done, you. Feel like we have to work with where we're at and what we've got and not just give up. Not you know, and I think that's what you've done here. You've not given up, right? So I haven't done close to the scalp. I have now I've left space so that you can knot. Right?
Okay.
Because I think that you need to be in the right headspace to actually do it. Right? The reason why I have faith is because there are knots in your hair. All of your locks had some kind of knots, and not just one. There were other knots in your hair, which means you can knot. It's just that you were probably in your own head. Also, maybe the session was designed for me to just take care of your hair today. You know, sometimes we try and do something that we're not probably meant to do, and we're doing it at the wrong time, frequency-wise, vibe-wise, and we don't quite do it right because we're not in the right headspace. The body only wanted today, Dina, to sit down and let somebody else do the work. Because since you locked your hair, you've carried this issue with your head, and you've always been worried, and you just needed to let go today. I've done it so you have a break.
Okay.
Yeah? You just have a break. Now, this is the first time you're experiencing my hands on your head. I've taught you, but this is the first time you're experiencing my hand on your head. Yeah? So how was the session?
Very good. Yeah, I liked it. It doesn't feel like that. I mean, like we were saying earlier, when I've had it done in the past, I was trying to say that it just felt sort of tight. It doesn't feel tight. It doesn't, that kind of, I suppose the word is tight. Yeah. I mean, it was not so tight that obviously you need to take any medication, but it doesn't feel so,
And I made sure, that I left room. I made sure I left room for your hair. And that's why you're not going, some of them are close to the scalp. Because what I'm trying to create is different scenarios staggered in your hair. Some will be ready to knot and some won't. And so you will learn from those that are ready to be knotted. And those that are not ready, you just leave. Some have afro. I've created different scenarios in your head. All your hair is separated and fine, but some have your afro underneath, not interlocked. Some are interlocked, right? And as I've interlocked here, you can feel the difference between interlocking. That's why I say my hair's come along so much with its density, because if I interlocked it, it would be that thin. And when you see the knots, it's so much more thicker. It's a no-brainer, right? But how does it compare? Because you watched me, isn't it? You're in the mirror. Yeah. So how does it compare? Blending, and then you're having the full experience of Melissa doing your hair, and I've taught you. How does it compare you sitting in the chair compared to whatever you expected it to be? In comparison to your past experience with me teaching you, in comparison to even the Sisterlocks experience you've had, what has it been like for you experiencing the knots, especially because I didn't like, even though I interlocked a little, it was mostly knots. How did it compare? What did you think?
Not as painful, not as so much snapping, because that's normally when I get, when they're pulling it through, I can hear and feel the snapping. When it snags. So a lot of that, because I didn't feel any of that. And not the tightness that takes a few days where it kind of calms. This just feels calm.
Good.
Yeah. Good. I mean, and I have tried to get them to not do it so close so I don't get that, because I remember saying to her to not do it too tight, but it always seemed to be tight. But like I said, because of my pain tolerance, sometimes it was kind of difficult it makes it difficult to judge it when you can actually tolerate pain. And,
Interesting. I told you about your hair, so there is no reason for you to experience any additional hair loss with your hair.
Oh, yeah.
My experience is the past. Okay, you probably had a history of alopecia, but if you think section by section, grid line by grid line, pulling and tugging, dry, this amazingly strong head of hair that was doing well, it just destroyed. It just tried to destroy it.
Yeah.
That's why I say the Sisterlocks practice is, it's so traumatic, second to perming, right? Where perm is a chemical.
Yeah.
This systematic section by section pulling and tugging will break your hair.
Yeah.
And the result is when it's being thinned out, they are joining.
Yeah.
They are joining.
Yeah.
They're not saying, oh, wait, something is off. They are just joining and joining and joining. Throughout your hair, there's this history of, some of them have 4 locks. Some of them have 4 locks. You can see the story that it was joined further up, it was joined further, you know.
And I don't know whether it was because she was trying to do it quickly. She just wanted to get it done.
She could not interlock it. It was too thin. That's why she joined it.
Yeah.
The moment they join it, it's not that she's trying to do it quick. There's not enough strands to interweave it.
Yeah.
So they have to join it because the system they use, the hair locking system, is interlocking.
Yeah.
They don't know anything else.
Yeah.
I can then look at a strand and go, right, I can thicken it off with the knots. But what's interesting about the size of locks you have, when I look at the ends, it's joined. So that means you had a lot more hair. A lot more hair. Because look how thin. So thin. Your hair is not a snappy hair.
But the way they were...
so that means they were doing something really unnatural. Because as I've worked with your hair, there's no fray hairs. Every action, everything you're doing to your hair is super healthy with your hair. You're wetting it, you're oiling it. When you have hair that has breakage, you will see fine hairs fall. Yeah, you're hydrating your hair right. You're looking after your hair right. Your hair is obedient hair. It stayed in the grid line, and then it got wider and wider and wider because you have orderly hair, obedient hair, healthy hair, and the action of you getting it interlocked, even when you took a break, created this damage to your front, and it showed up more at the top. It created the damage because when you were taking a break and they were going in and the person was interlocking you, they were interlocking you to take away everything, all the growth. They didn't like it. They didn't enjoy your growth. They didn't know what to do with it. And so they would join, they would pull, and they would tug, and the result is hair loss. It's happened over years and years. So what I'm saying to you is, we work from, let's be grateful that we have hair. When the rest come, it comes gradually. We hardly even notice. It comes. But let's not give up. It's traumatic because it's at the front, right? But it's not getting worse. And your hair is so strong. It's got the elasticity, it's got the springy thing going on. I've done it so your hair can be rested. I've put oil of water. Honestly, I'm just frustrated for you because if the right person was in your hair, there was no need for this experience you've had. I can't see the reason why you have hair loss. You know, some people, I can tell them, your hair type, it goes over there, it goes over there, it moves there, it does there. Your hair is not like that. When you part your hair stays. You were talking about being worried about the fray hairs, I was able to deal with your fray hair so easy so that when you're ready to knot it and next time, you're going to find that it's easy to knot it because all of the hairs are in the knots. It's going to be so much easier now the way I've done it. Sometimes, you know, this lack of knowledge is to the detriment of us because when we put our lack of knowledge into somebody's hands that we think has more knowledge, that's the danger. The reason I'm giving you this information about your hair is I feel you need to understand that there was nothing wrong with your hair. All the hairstyles you've done in the past, all the braids, you didn't need to do all of that. Your hair was fine. Then you went and sister-locked it, and then it damaged more acute, faster, over a period. All of that's not necessary. So we learn from our mistakes. We misunderstood it. Now I'm telling you this, I promise you. I'm pleased you didn't cut off your hair. I'm pleased you learned knotted locks. I'm pleased you're sitting in the chair. We just must be grateful and celebrate all of what you have. All of it is great. You can rock this, you can work with this. right? I'll show you, I'll play around with your hair now, and then I'll show you, maybe wear it like this, maybe wear it like this, wear it like that. But I know you, you want to have your hair up and you want to have your hair down. You don't really want to hide this. You want to just be normal with your hair. Gradually, you'll get there. That's how I feel. Like gradually, you will get there. Like, do you feel like you moved in the right direction when you discovered Knotted Locs?
Yes, I do. Because I think this, even when you were doing it, it was more gentle. The tugging and the this and the that, it wasn't good. Because the thinness, I could see it. And that's what was frightening me. The fact that I'd have to go back again and see somebody and they were going to do the same thing. So it was like, when I was in Grenada, I was thinking about going to see a Loctician. But then I thought, supposing she's rough and it's worse, because I'm sitting here but I don't know what's going on properly at the back. I can feel, but I can't actually see what she's doing. I may experience the same thing, and then it's going to be, will she end up pulling everything out, because so that was a worry. And it's weird that I found you on that. I suddenly saw something called Knotted Locs, and then I started looking at your podcasts, and then the thing I liked about it was the fact that the way you explained it, it was more gentle. It wasn't the tugging and the pulling, it was just something. And I knew that my hair needed that. It didn't need the tugging and the pulling, because that was really what was thinning it out.
You could feel it when they were doing your hair, retightening your hair. Yeah. You could feel what was causing the hair loss.
Yes, I could. But also, I think listening to you also, I felt like you were somebody that actually cared about the person's hair. And I wasn't getting a lot of care. I was getting somebody that, like I said, the last visit, I was getting somebody that just wanted me to pay them whatever because I was a naughty girl and I'd gone over the 2 months or whatever, how many, 8 weeks or whatever. So, but there wasn't any really care, apart from telling me, I should braid and band, which, not being funny, with the issues that I had, you would have seen it, wasn't really going to help that situation. And if that's all you've got to say, then it's like, why am I coming to see you? You're not really, you can see, and you might, I don't know, she must be able to make some kind of connection that something's going on, or to see what you can see. She's a Loctician. She chose not to see. Because everyone looks like that. Yeah. So historically they come, it gets thinned out, it's the look. Yeah. But if you see something going wrong, you're gonna say, oh, it's you're because some people tell people don't cut it off yet. They know that eventually they'll cut it off because it's in their head. This is what happens. It goes like this, then you break. It's not really thought of, to me, as a lifelong term. At some point they go, well, that's what happens with Sisterlocks. Okay. That's what happens with Sisterlocks. I counteract it, and a lot of people are trying to counteract it. But the reality is, Sisterlocks maybe started in 1999, I think. Okay. And so it's hard to find somebody with 20 years plus who's been interlocked, retightened every 6 to 8 weeks. It's hard to find them with a full head of hair. If you do, they're the unique 1%. But most people, my hair wouldn't be able to take it. That's why I came up with a solution. But you have to understand, for a lot of people, it's standard, the thinning. It's quicker to do the hair when the hair is thin. Yeah. It's easier, it's quicker. When the hair is obedient and stays within the grid and the grid gets wider, it's easier to just go interlock. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? Retightening. What they don't like is when they have to work out what to do with this growth, where to place it. This is thought, this is intelligent work. They don't want to tap necessarily into that. This is not for everyone, but that explains, and I'm familiar with that person because people have sat in the chair and the experience is exactly the same. They don't necessarily want to think. They just want to take your interlock, buy, take your money, buy. It's just their way. Everyone has their way of doing hair. Understanding their vision, understanding their ethics, understanding their values, and how their relationship with African hair. That's how you decide. You don't decide because that's a Sisterlocks consultant. You decide because that might be a Sisterlocks consultant who actually loves and cares about your hair and all of that. But the experience of love is a mouth.
It isn't by mouth, it's by hair. So she loves my hair, it's full, it's doing well, it's doing great. If she doesn't love your hair, even though she loves you and you're having the greatest time and she has the greatest personality, get out and run. Run for your life. If it's not translating onto your hair. Because I'm telling you now, you had no reason to experience what you've just no, if you were in my chair, never your hair would look like that. I promise you it won't look like you've got great hair. Fantastic, strong. There's literally nothing wrong with your hair other than you want it to be in these small tubes and busy your life and carry on and all of that. That's what's sad about your hair. It is unnecessary what happened to your hair. You know what I mean? But now we live and learn. It's still working for you. You know? So we just carry on like this. We're thankful. Me and you forever connected. You know, you need me, I'm there. I talk you through what you want to talk through because I have faith that there's going to be more and more and more and more and more growth. When I discover something, I'm going to tell you. Try it, see, does it work? But let's make the best of what is there. And then when hairs grow between your hair, leave it, don't knot it. Leave it, don't knot it. And then when the next time you come to the UK, I will put it in. Because I think sometimes you'll probably need iRe-lock to help, you know, the space. But with your hair like this, how does it feel even? Like I've just done your hair. Would you be brave enough to walk around with your hair just down like this?
I'm not happy with the front hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there hair there when you first locked?
I think there was. There was a bit more.
There was hair here?
Yeah, there was a bit more hair here, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was having some problems with here.
Okay.
But I think it was a little bit more.
Yeah, but if you have problems, it doesn't mean that now we can aggravate it and speed up the, the hair loss and all of that.
Yeah.
I just would wish you, because I'm looking at you, and I like your hair down like this. And I worry that you might be a bit, I know there's hair loss there, but you might overthink it and think it looks worse than it is, which is normal for everyone. But I think looking at you straight on, I feel like you could wear your hair like that, personally, down like that, I think. Because I just think you should be able to, just look, I just lifted that, see. But anyway, I'm telling you, looking at the top, you can have your hair down.
It's
like that.
It's not looking spacey.
No. Okay, I'm seeing your scalp, but it's going to grow because I've done your hair, because I don't know the next time I'm going to see you. So there is, but it doesn't look unusual. It doesn't look disturbing. It doesn't look, you know what I mean? But after I've done this video, I'm going to take a picture and show you.
Okay.
So you'll understand that it's fine.
Okay.
Like that. To me, you could wear it like that as a style. Yeah? I think you're in your head too much, and I think that the way your hair is, you know your story, but nobody knows your story. Nobody. Everyone will just look at you and go, oh, her hair looks nice. It's just down. You've just got it down. I think you should go out like this. Your hair down like this, personally. I'm telling you this, today is the worst because I've obviously done your hair because I don't know the next time I'm going to see you. And I've done it knowing you can knot your hair. Yeah? You're going to have growth underneath. So this is going to be lifted. This is going to be lifted. If you had the growth let's say you waited 1 year before you came to me. You know how amazing your hair will look? Amazing. For months you've got this afro underneath. I come in, I separate you, knot it from time to time. It's a different hair a year from now. Also, you don't know the effects of, energy. And hopefully you felt all the love, you felt all the joy, all everything, positive healing. You don't know what my hands on your head has done for you. You have to wait to see. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think this is, honestly, I'm looking at you. I think you're fine. I think you're great. Personally, honestly, I think you should go out just normal with hair down like this instead of braiding it, personally. I like it like this. And also, it's just a different look because we're tired of the two plaits.
Oh, God, yeah, I'm tired of the two plaits.